Hello students, today we are going to discuss a new chapter that is known as circular motion. Okay, so what is circular motion? We already studied what is motion when the position of a body changes with respect to time and as observed by an observer, then the body is said to be in motion, and we already discussed the motion in a straight line or rectilinear motion, then projectile motion, that is known as a two-dimensional motion. So today we are going to discuss about circular motion, which is also a two-dimensional motion. Okay, so like projectile motion, circular motion is also a two-dimensional motion. So two-dimensional motion means this motion takes place along a plane. Clear? So what is circular motion? You already know what is circle. So circle is what? The locus of a point whose distance is fixed from a fixed point. If this point O is fixed and a point P is moving in such a way, or you are displacing this point P in such a way that its distance from the point O always remain constant, let that is R, then the path covered by the point P is a circle. So if we are considering the motion of this point P, then the motion of the point P is known as circular motion. Clear? So what is circular motion? Anything that moves along a circle is known as, the motion of that substance is known as what? Circular motion. So we can write the definition like this: the motion of a particle is said to be circular motion if its distance from a fixed point remain constant. Okay, if the distance of the particle which is moving, the motion of a particle is said to be circular motion if the distance from a fixed point remain constant. Clear? So when a particle move in such a way that its distance from a fixed point always remain constant, then that type of motion of that particle is known as what? Circular motion. And circular motion is a two-dimensional motion because it takes place along a plane. So if I am considering the motion of this point P, which is moving along this path, and its distance from the fixed point O is R, which is remain constant throughout the motion. At each and every point, the distance of point P from the O point which is fixed is remain constant, that is R, then the motion of this particle P is known as circular motion. And here in this particular case, this motion takes place along the y-x plane. So as this motion takes place along a plane, so this motion is a two-dimensional motion. Clear? Okay, and the fixed point about which the body or the particle is executing circular motion is known as the center of the circle. Center of the circular path. And the fixed distance from the center of the circular path to the position of the point is known as radius of the circular path. Okay, clear? So what are the examples of circular motion? So any particle that move in such a way that its distance from a fixed point is always remain constant, then the motion of that particle is known as circular motion. So for example, if I am considering a small piece of rock which is attached with a string and I am trying to wheel it along this like this, then the motion of the rock about the point where I am holding the string is known as circular motion. Clear? So the motion of a rock attached with a string which is wheeled by a person is an example of circular motion. Then another example is the revolution of electrons. Around the nucleus. Because we all know that all the free electrons are revolving around the nucleus. If here is the nucleus of an atom, then all the electrons are revolving in a particular orbit along the nucleus. Then the path or the motion of these electrons are known as circular motion. Or you may play in the merry-go-round, then the motion in the merry-go-round is known as circular motion. Clear? So these are certain examples of circular motion. So all the motions you observe in your day-to-day life, when the distance of the particle which is moving is fixed from a fixed point, then that type of motion of that particle is known as circular motion. Clear? So let us now discuss some motion parameters for circular motion. First of all, angular displacement. It is denoted by theta vector. Okay, what is angular displacement? Displacement we already know, the shortest distance between the final position and the initial position, or the perpendicular distance between the final position and initial position. We already discussed about it in the kinematics or linear motion. So what is angular displacement? So if I am considering here the circular motion of a particle, let this is the fixed point or the center of the circular path O, and here is a point P which is moving along this path in anti-clockwise sense. Clear? So let at t equal to 0, the point or the particle is at point P. Clear? And after some time t equal to t second, the point P reaches to, or the particle P reaches to P dash position. Okay, and this is the radius of the circular path, or the distance between the fixed point O and the point which is revolving or executing the circular motion along this circular path. So here P dash is the final position after t second. So now the angle covered by the position vector of the point P with respect to the fixed point, or which can be known as the radial vector, is theta. And here this theta is known as what? Angular displacement. Clear? So what is angular displacement? The angle covered by the radial vector, or which is also known as the position vector of the particle which is executing circular motion with respect to the center of the circular path, is known as what? Angular displacement. Or the angular position of the point at any instant with respect to the initial position is known as angular displacement. So what is angular displacement? It is defined as the angle covered by radial vector okay, it is defined as the angle covered by the radial vector. Clear? So the angle in this particular case, the angle covered by the radial vector is theta. So this theta is known as what? The angular displacement of this particle which is executing circular motion. Clear? So it is defined as the angle covered by the radial vector, or it has unit radian and dimension is also in terms of radian. Clear? Okay, so this is the angular displacement of a particle which is executing circular motion. Clear? So next, it is also a vector quantity. Which is axial vector. Okay, so its direction is along the axis about which the particle is executing circular motion, and the direction can be obtained by, its direction can be obtained by using right hand thumb rule. Okay, so what is right hand thumb rule? You all know what is right hand thumb rule. If I am crawling the fingers of the right hand along the direction of the angular display, along the direction of motion of the particle, then the thumb of the right hand represents the direction of what? Angular displacement. So in this case, as the particle is moving in anti-clockwise sense, so if I am crawling the finger of the right hand in anti-clockwise sense, then the thumb shows outward. So the direction of the angular displacement for this particular case is outward, and we can denote the outward direction like this. This is known as outward. Okay, or this can be taken as the positive direction. Clear? So when the particle is moved in anti-clockwise sense, then the direction of the angular displacement can be obtained by the right hand thumb rule. So if I am crawling the fingers of the right hand, the thumb will show the direction of angular displacement, and the direction is outward, which can be taken as the positive direction. Clear? Angular velocity. Or here, before that, we are to establish the relation between linear displacement and angular displacement. Okay, so what is the relation between linear displacement and angular displacement? As in this particular case, the particle P is at the point P when the time is t equal to 0, and after t second the particle is at point P dash. So the angle covered by the radial vector is theta, which is known as the angular displacement of the particle. But the particle covers also a linear distance from P to P dash, and this linear path is known as what? The linear displacement. Clear? So what is the relation between this linear displacement and the angular displacement? So according to the geometry, we know, according to geometry, We know arc length equal to how much? Radius into angle covered by the radius or angle sustained by the arc at the center. So in this particular case, the arc length is p dash, which is also considered as the linear displacement, and the radial vector whose magnitude is r is also taken as what? Radius, and the angle subtended by this arc at the center is theta. So from this we can write the linear displacement, let it be L, from this point to this point. So from this you can write the arc length L is equal to the radius or the magnitude of the radial vector. This can be taken as r vector mod into the angle which is known as theta. Clear? Or this can be simply written as the linear displacement or distance L is equal to r theta. Clear? Okay. Or theta can be written as L by r. So this is the relation between angular displacement and linear displacement in scalar form, not in vector form. Okay. So this is the relation between L, linear displacement, and angular displacement theta in scalar form. Okay. So what will be the relation in vector form? So as for this case, at the point P, the direction of linear displacement will be tangent to the point P. So this is the direction of linear displacement L vector, and the direction of angular displacement is out of the plane. So this is along out of the plane, like this, perpendicular to the plane. So if I am applying the right hand thumb rule, I am taking the thumb of the right hand along the direction of linear displacement and I am crawling the finger of the right hand. So it will first touch the vector theta, then the vector r, which is along the radius. So what is v vector? In vector form, v vector equal to, this is theta and r is along this radius. So the product will be theta cross r. So in vector form we can write the L vector is equal to theta vector cross r vector. So in vector form I can write here the linear displacement L vector is defined as theta cross r vector. Okay, you have to remember this relation in vector form, L vector equal to theta cross r vector. If someone written like this, theta vector equal to L vector by r, this is wrong. Okay, this is not correct. This relation is wrong. This is the scalar relation and the vector relation will be like this. So you have to remember, it's a important relation. The relation between linear displacement and angular displacement is L vector equal to theta cross r. Clear? So next is angular velocity. Which is denoted by omega vector. Okay, same as that of linear velocity. As linear velocity is defined as the rate of change of linear displacement. So in this case, what is angular velocity? It is defined as the rate of change of angular displacement. So this is defined as the rate of change of angular displacement. Okay, so if I am considering the motion, the point P has some velocity omega naught at t equal to 0. Okay, sorry, the point P is at a location, let it be L naught at t equal to 0, and the P dash is the displacement at certain linear displacement L. or the angle when the point P is at this position is taken as 0, and the angle from this initial position at which the final position P dash is taken as theta, and the time interval by which the position or angular displacement from 0 to theta takes place is t second. Clear? So in t second time interval, the particle P displaces from P to P dash, due to which the angular displacement changes by theta. So the rate of change of angular displacement for this particular case, which is defined as the angular velocity omega, will be how much? Theta by t, because at t equal to 0, the angle displaced by the particle is 0, and after t second, when t is taken as t second, the angle displaced by the particle is theta. So the angular displacement in a time interval of t second is theta. So the rate of change of angle, that is theta by t, is known as omega. Or if I are considering for a very small portion of angle d theta, then the omega instantaneous at any particular instant can be defined as d theta by dt. Clear? So at any particular instant for a very small angular displacement d theta, the angular velocity, which is known as instantaneous angular velocity, is defined as d theta by dt. For I am considering a finite time interval, for example, if I am taking at t equal to t1 second, the angular displacement is theta 1, and t equal to t2 second, the angular displacement is theta 2. Then what is the rate of change of angular displacement? So this can be written as final angular displacement is theta 2, and initially the angular displacement is theta 1 divided by the time interval is t2 minus t1. So this is an average rate of change of angular displacement. So this can be written as the average angular velocity, omega average. Clear? So what is angular velocity? It is the rate of change of angular displacement. So the relation is omega equal to d theta by dt, which is given as the instantaneous angular velocity, or the total change in angular displacement by total change in time interval is known as the average angular velocity, or this can be written as delta theta by delta t. Clear? So this is also a vector quantity. It's a vector quantity. And its unit is radian per second. Clear? And it has dimension t minus 1. Okay? Clear? So here the unit of the angular velocity is radian per second, and its dimension second inverse or t to the power minus 1. Why? Because as the angular velocity is defined as the angular displacement by time taken, so angular displacement is a dimensionless constant. So as this is the dimensionless constant, so the dimension of angular displacement is 0 and the time is reciprocal. That's why the dimensional formula for angular velocity is t inverse, and its unit is radian per second. So you have to remember the unit is radian per second, but the dimension is time inverse. Clear? So maybe mistakenly I told you before that the dimension of the angular displacement is radian, but actually the dimension is what? The angular displacement, which is same as that of angle. That's why it is a dimensionless constant, but it has unit, that is radian. Clear? So you have to remember this. And its direction is also, as it is a vector quantity, so it has direction, and its direction is same as that of what? Angular displacement. So angular velocity, it also has the same direction as angular displacement. Okay, so you have to remember angular velocity is a vector quantity which have the direction same as that of angular displacement. Clear? So next we have to find out the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So relation between angular velocity omega and linear velocity. V. Okay, so what is the relation? So as this for particular case, the particle from point P to move point P dash. So let me draw this figure once again. This is the fixed point O and the particle is at point P when t equal to 0 second, and it reaches to a certain point P dash in time t equal to t second. So this curved path or the arc covered by the particle during this time interval is known as linear displacement L, and this is the radial vector or whose magnitude is equal to the radius of the circular path r, and the angle covered by the radial vector or the radius of the circular path in this time interval is theta, which is known as the angular displacement. Okay, so if theta is defined as the angular displacement which is covered by the particle in t second, so if as the particle is moving along the arc in t second which covers a distance of L, so it must have a linear velocity due to which it is moving in anti-clockwise sense. So the direction of linear velocity will be tangent like this, V. So as we can write, the linear displacement L is equal to the radius or the magnitude of the radial vector into the angle covered by the radial vector in the given time interval t, or from this we can write the angular displacement theta equal to L by r. Clear? So by differentiating both sides, with respect to time, we get what? D theta by dt will be equal to d by dt of L by r. Clear? So this implies, what is d theta by dt? We already discussed d theta by dt is the angular velocity. So omega is equal to d by dt of L by r. Here r, the radial vector, remain constant with respect to time, but the distance L covered by the particle in time t gives us the linear velocity or magnitude of linear velocity, or this can be written as 1 by r into dl by dt. Clear? So this implies we can write omega equal to 1 by r. What is dl by dt? The rate of change of linear displacement with respect to time. It can be written as the magnitude of the linear velocity v. So from this we can write the magnitude of linear velocity v is equal to r into omega. Clear? This is the scalar relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Okay, but we can't write v vector is equal to r into omega vector. This is wrong. Okay, this is the scalar relation between v linear velocity and angular velocity. You have to remember this relation, or from this we can write the angular velocity omega is defined as v by r. Clear? This is a very important relation. You have to remember, where v is what? In this case, the linear velocity is tangent at any instant. That's why at each and every point the direction of linear velocity is perpendicular to the radial vector. Clear? So in general we can write the angular velocity omega is defined as the v perpendicular divided by the radius of the circular path or the path about which the body is executing, circular motion. Clear? So omega in general can be written as the perpendicular component of the linear velocity to the position vector or the radial vector of the particle from the point about which it is executing circular motion. Clear? So this is the scalar relation. Next, what will be the vector relation? So as we already discussed that the linear velocity v is defined as omega cross r. This is the vector relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. But so what is angular acceleration? Denoted by alpha. So it is defined as rate of change of angular velocity. Okay, for example, at t equal to 1 second, the angular velocity is omega 1 of the particle which is revolving in a circular path, and t equal to 2 second, the angular velocity is omega 2. So what is the rate of change of angular velocity, which is defined by alpha? So alpha can be written as final angular velocity minus initial angular velocity divided total time interval during which the angular velocity changes. So this is defined as what? The angular acceleration, or this also can be written as the alpha average. The angular average acceleration is equal to, this can be written as del omega by del t. Clear? So for any instant, if the time interval delta t tends to 0 or the time interval is very small, then the angular acceleration will become instantaneous angular acceleration, which is defined as d omega by dt. Okay. So we have to remember this relation. The average angular acceleration is defined as del omega by delta t, or the total change in angular velocity divided by total time interval. But the instantaneous angular acceleration on any particular instant is defined as d omega by dt, or the rate of change of angular velocity. Clear? It is also again a vector quantity or a axial vector whose direction is same as that of the change in omega, or along the direction of change in angular velocity, and its unit same as that of what? The unit, it's a vector quantity. Direction is along the direction of change in angular velocity. Okay, and its unit is radian per second square, and dimension formula is t minus 2. Okay. So now we have to find out the relation between linear acceleration, that is denoted by a, and angular acceleration, alpha. Clear? From previously we already established the relation between linear velocity, which can be defined as v equal to r omega. So now differentiating both sides with respect to time, we will get what? dv by dt will be equal to d by dt of r omega. Clear? So this can be written as, what is dv by dt? The rate of change of velocity. So it's the magnitude of linear acceleration a, which is defined as how much? If I am using the product rule for this differential operator, it will be r into d omega by dt plus omega into dr by dt. So this implies the magnitude of linear acceleration A will become r into what is d omega by dt, the rate of change of angular velocity, that is alpha, plus what is omega into dr by dt. Here this is the magnitude of radial vector or position vector, and the magnitude of this position vector for a given circular path is remain constant throughout the motion. That's why with respect to time there is no change in the magnitude of radial vector or radius or the position vector of the particle which is executing circular motion. That's why this, the differentiation of a constant is 0, so this complete term will become 0. So from this we will get the relation between linear acceleration A is defined as the magnitude of radial vector and the magnitude of angular acceleration alpha. So A can be defined as r alpha. So you have to remember this relation. Okay. And in this particular case, this acceleration is not the total acceleration. This is the acceleration along the direction of linear velocity. Clear? That's why this is along the tangent to the circular path. That's why this particular acceleration is known as what? Tangential acceleration. This is known as the tangential acceleration. Which is always act along the linear velocity or tangent to the circular path. So this can be denoted as AT, or A tangential is equal to R alpha. Clear? But in vector form. So what is the vector relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration? As we already know, the linear velocity v is defined as omega cross r vector. So now differentiating both sides with respect to time, it will be d v vector by dt, which is equal to d by dt of omega vector cross r vector. Clear? So what is d v vector by dt vector? This is a vector, which is equal to d omega vector by dt cross r vector plus omega vector cross dr vector by dt. So a vector is equal to omega vector by dt vector is known as the angular acceleration alpha vector cross r vector plus omega cross dr vector by dt vector, that is the rate of change of radial vector or rate of change of position vector of the particle. So this will be how much? The linear velocity v. So here we will get the net linear acceleration a vector is equal to alpha cross r vector plus omega cross v vector, where alpha vector cross r vector is known as a tangential and omega cross v vector is known as a radial. Okay, so a linear or a total is defined as a tangential plus a radial. Clear? Okay, so the total linear acceleration of a body executing circular motion is defined as the combination of tangential acceleration plus radial acceleration, or this radial acceleration can be defined as a perpendicular. Okay, this radial can be defined as a perpendicular. That means what is a tangential and a perpendicular or a radial? The component of acceleration which is along the direction of linear velocity is a tangential, and the component of acceleration which is perpendicular to the direction of linear velocity is known as a perpendicular or a radial. Clear? So a acceleration has two components. the component which is responsible to only change the magnitude of velocity is known as A tangential, and the component of the acceleration which is responsible to change only the direction of velocity is known as A perpendicular or A radial. So from these two components of the total acceleration of a particle executing circular motion, the component which is tangent or along the direction of velocity is responsible to change its magnitude, and the component which is perpendicular to the direction of linear velocity is responsible to change its direction. Clear? So you have to remember that the A tangential is the cause to change the speed and A radial is the cause to change its direction. And as in circular motion, if the particle is moved with constant speed, that means the speed is not changing with respect to time, then A tangential will become 0. But as each and every position the direction of linear velocity is changes, so there must be a perpendicular or A radial. So for a circular motion, A radial is must, but A tangential may not be present. If the speed changes, because A tangential is responsible for changing the magnitude of velocity, that what is magnitude of velocity? That is known as A tangential, or magnitude of velocity is known as speed. So if speed is changing, then A tangential is there. If speed is constant, that means the body executing circular motion with constant speed, then A radial is only there. There is no A tangential. Clear? So you have to remember that A tangential, which is defined as alpha cross r, is responsible to change the magnitude of velocity or linear velocity, and A radial is the cause which is responsible to change the direction of linear velocity. And for a circular motion, we already observed that each and every point the direction of the linear velocity changes. So if a body is executing circular motion, then it must have a radial acceleration or a perpendicular component of the net linear acceleration. But if the speed does not change, then the tangential acceleration will be 0. Clear? So the sum of these two accelerations, A tangential plus A radial, gives us the total linear acceleration. Clear? If it is in uniform motion, that means the speed remain constant, then there will be no A tangential, only A radial is there. So A radial is must for a circular motion. Clear? So this is about angular acceleration and relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration. Clear? We will discuss about the acceleration in detail in later class. Okay, so this is all about the motion parameter you have to face during the circular motion chapter. Clear? So next, the motion equations. In circular motion. So in linear mechanics or kinematics, we already studied the equation of motion like V equal to U plus AT, A is equal to UT plus half AT square, then V square equal to U square plus 2AS, and S nth at any particular given time second, it will be U plus A by 2 into 2n minus 1, where n is the total time interval. Clear? So these are the four equation of motion in linear motion. Similarly, in case of circular motion, and we know what are the symbols represent. V is the final velocity, U is the initial velocity, A is the linear acceleration, and T is the time interval, and S is what? The displacement. And same here, Sn is the displacement covered by the particle in a particular nth second, where n is the total second. So the same equations for circular motion can be defined as the final, here is the initial velocity, so here the final angular velocity omega will be equal to the initial angular velocity omega naught plus, in case of A it will be alpha into t. Clear? Similarly for displacement, theta is equal to ut, that is omega naught into t plus A will be half alpha t square. Similarly the third equation will be omega square equal to omega naught square plus 2 alpha theta, and fourth equation theta nth will be equal to omega naught plus alpha by 2 into 2n minus 1. So these are the 4 equation of motion in case of circular motion. Clear? Okay, so next we are going to discuss what is the time period in case of circular motion. The time period denoted by capital T. So what is time period? So if here I am considering the circular motion of a particle which is executing about a fixed point O. P is the particle which is executing circular motion in anticlockwise sense, having a radial vector or position vector r with respect to the center of the circular path O. Clear? So if this particle cover a distance theta at any instant of time t to reach the point P dash, so we can find out the angular velocity omega equal to theta by t. Clear? So here t is the time interval to cover an angular displacement of theta. Clear? So what is time period? So time period is the total time required by a particle to complete a complete circle. Clear? So the time required by the particle to complete the complete circle is known as time period of the circular motion. So in this case, if omega is defined as theta by t, so when t is equal to the time period of the circular motion, what is theta? Theta will be the total angle, or if the particle covers the complete circular path, then the angle covered by the particle will be this much. When the particle covers the complete circular path, then the time required by the particle to cover this complete circular path is known as time period. So when t equal to time period, so the angle covered by the particle during the motion of the complete circular path is how much? 2 pi. So in time period t, the particle cover an angle of 2 pi. So this implies you can write omega is defined as total angle covered by the particle will be 2 pi divided by the time interval to cover this angle is t. So omega is defined as 2 pi by t, or this implies you can define the time period t equal to 2 pi by omega. So this is the relation between angular velocity and time period, which is a 2 pi by omega. It is a standard relation. You have to remember this. And what is the definition of time period? The definition of time period is the time required by a particle. The time required by particle to complete a full rotation or full revolution. Okay. So time period is what? The time required by a particle to complete a full revolution. That means to complete the complete circular path or to take a full revolution. The time required by the particle is known as what? The time period of the circular motion, and this is defined as 2 pi by omega. Clear? So you have to remember this relation, t equal to 2 pi by omega or omega equal to 2 pi by t, which is known as, where t is known as the time period. Next, angular frequency or frequency f, or this can also be denoted as nu. Frequency is what? The total number of cycles in a second. In a given second, what are the total number of cycles covered by a particle executing circular motion? The cycle is, one cycle is to complete one circular path. So how many times the particle complete the circular path in a given second will define the frequency of that particle executing circular motion. So what is frequency of the circular motion or linear frequency? It is denoted by F or nu. It is defined as the number of cycles per second, the total number of cycles in a second or per second. Clear? Or this can be written as the reciprocal of time period. So nu, or this can be defined as F is equal to 1 by T, or this will be how much? Omega by 2 pi. Clear? Or this can be written as omega equal to 2 pi F, where F is linear frequency. Clear? And here also omega is known as angular frequency. And this F or nu is known as linear frequency. And it has unit second inverse. Clear? Or Hertz, and dimension T minus 1. Clear? So omega is known as what? Angular frequency, where F is known as linear frequency. So this is about the frequency, time period, angular velocity, angular acceleration, angular displacement, and the equation of motions in angular motion. Clear? So in next class we will discuss further. Okay, thank you.